Okay, let's just dive right in. Today's explainer is unpacking the absolute bleeding edge of theoretical physics. We're talking about a completely paradigm-shifting concept today, something that moves way, way beyond the basic introductions to general relativity and quantum mechanics. If you've ever looked up at the night sky and wondered what is truly in the empty space between the stars, well, you're absolutely going to want to pay close attention to this one. Since we're plunging headfirst into the dense, multidimensional fabric of reality, here's our quick roadmap so we don't get lost. 1. The final toe candidates. 2. The ultimate reality check. 3. The quantum crystal universe. 4. 5 layers of reality. 5. The golden chiral flow. And finally, 6. A living multi-phase medium. We'll start with the classic heavy hitters of unification, face a massive scientific roadblock, and then break right through into a radical new framework called the anyoscopic theory. Before we get into the hard data, I really want you to completely rethink the cosmos for a second. Just ponder this mind-bending possibility. What if the universe isn't an empty void at all? What if you, me, literally everything we know, is actually existing inside a vibrating 12-dimensional crystal? Just keep that wild image in your mind as we get started. All right, Section 1. The final toe candidates, heavy hitters of unification. Let's start our descent right at the intersection of geometry and vibration, with the established heavy hitters for a theory of everything. Let's break down the two main camps in modern physics: string theory's multidimensional cosmic symphony versus loop quantum gravity's woven fabric of spacetime. On one hand, string theory suggests particles aren't just dots, but tiny vibrating 1D filaments of energy, which actually requires 10 or 11 dimensions to even function mathematically. On the flip side, loop quantum gravity doesn't try to make gravity a particle. Instead, it argues that spacetime itself is quantized into discrete loops. Think of it kind of like the thread count in an incredibly finely woven sheet. Now, wrap your mind around this unimaginably tiny number: 1.6 times 10 to the negative 35th meters. That is the Planck length. Loop quantum gravity says this is the absolute minimum possible size of space. You simply cannot divide reality any further than that. So from a distance, the universe looks, perfectly smooth. But down at this incredibly microscopic scale, it's a rigid grid. Which brings us to Section 2, the ultimate reality check, the falsifiability problem. Here is where we hit a massive floor with our current scientific capabilities. For all the mathematical beauty of these two leading theories, they share one incredibly frustrating roadblock. Without a particle accelerator powerful enough to actually see these infinitesimally small strings or loops of space, these brilliant theories completely lack falsifiability. Right now, humanity simply does not have the technology to prove them right or wrong. We are stuck being mathematically sure, but experimentally blind. So, we need a new approach. Section 3. The quantum crystal universe, into the anyoscopic theory. It's time to break right through that floor and pivot to a completely radical paradigm shift in our understanding of physics. Enter the anyoscopic theory. Instead of an empty void, imagine looking through a high-dimensional microscope and finding out our universe is actually a supercomputer made of quantum crystal. In this framework, the cosmos is defined as a topological multiphase medium. That basically means space is a layered substance with superimposed states. It's a fundamental shift from looking at vibrating strings or tiny loops to examining the state of the medium itself. Let's break that medium down. Section 4. 5 layers of reality, zooming 30,000x into spacetime. Let's see what happens when we zoom in 30,000 times to uncover the distinct data layers of this quantum crystal structure. Our first layer is the trivial component. This is the calm stage where normal matter just goes about its business. Think of it like the surface of a perfectly still pond. It's the smooth, foundational layer of spacetime where the deeper cosmic code hasn't created any turbulence, allowing the everyday matter we interact with to just comfortably exist. Diving a bit deeper, we hit the axion component. This is the invisible dark matter web acting as a sort of cosmic surface tension that keeps our galaxies from flying apart. In this framework, dark matter isn't necessarily some mysterious hidden particle. It's actually the geometric shadow of what's called a direct string. It exerts this massive surface tension on a galactic scale, pushing back against the centripetal forces of spinning galaxies. Then layer 3 is essentially the universe's hard drive. It's locked tight with A5 geometric knots so the laws of physics don't randomly change on us. This topological component is the permanent memory layer of reality. It's the exact reason gravity works the same way today as it did a billion years ago. Those mathematical knots stitch reality together, perfectly preserving the vital constants of physics. Beneath that lies the Dirac semimetal. This is a compressed dimensional singularity where light gets its incredible speed limit. Spatial dimensions literally squeeze together here to form a unique equilibrium point. It provides the precise environment that allows massless particles, like photons, to naturally race across the universe at the speed of light. And finally, the absolute climax of the structure, the Wales semimetal. This is the ultimate dimensional bridge connecting our 3D world to the higher mathematical bulk. It's the absolute heart of energy transfer. Symmetry is intentionally broken right here, creating a gateway for raw data to flow from those higher dimensions straight down into our tangible reality. Which brings us to Section 5, the golden chiral flow, pumping the golden pulse. A supercomputer is totally useless without electricity, right? So how does this massive quantum structure actually operate? Well, the universe is kept alive by the chiral current. It's this brilliant golden pulse that breathes life and movement into every star and vibrating atom. If the Wales semimetal is the hardware, the chiral current is the vital bloodstream. It doesn't carry blood, obviously, but it carries the pure, unadulterated will of the cosmic code. Without it, our universe would just be a frozen, lifeless sketch. Let's trace exactly how this flows. It pumps raw code from the 12th dimensional Leibniz space, funnels it through the 5th dimension, and projects it right here into our 4D Pascal space. It's an absolutely incredible cosmic plumbing system. The code originates up in that incomprehensibly complex Leibniz space, gets channeled downward, and physically manifests in the Pascal space, the 4-dimensional reality that you and I inhabit every day. And the precision of this is just staggering, 10 to the negative 100th power. Because this is a dissipationless transport, meaning zero heat loss, the cosmic code commands reality with that mind-boggling level of exactness. The data flows through the Weil nodes with zero friction and zero thermal waste. The instructions from the higher dimensions are executed in our world with practically infinite, perfect accuracy. This naturally brings us to the dynamic relationship between two massive cosmic forces. Dark energy, which is defined mathematically by the natural log of 2, is basically the driving pressure. It's the pump at the very edge of reality. It's the force continuously pushing that majestic chiral data flow through the Weil nodes and across the entire cosmic system. Dark energy is the pump, and the chiral current is the water. Section 6. A living multi-phase medium. Manifestations of the cosmic code. Pulling this all together, what does this actually mean for our existence? How does it redefine everything we thought we knew? Okay, here is the core takeaway. Everything you see, feel, and experience is simply the physical manifestation of this flowing topological code. That eerie silence of dark matter, that is just the axion code stabilizing the galaxy. The unbreakable speed of light, dictated purely by the geometry of the semimetal structure. The fact that your atoms are vibrating right now, driven entirely by the relentless pumping of the golden chiral flow. The bottom line is, you aren't floating in a dark vacuum. You are standing inside the most magnificent, vibrating, multi-phase quantum crystal imaginable. Every inch of what we casually call empty space is actually packed with layered structural data. It's a living, breathing supercomputer, constantly updating and maintaining the reality we experience every single second. I'll leave you with this provocative thought as we wrap up this explainer. Are you ready to dive into the math of the 12th dimension next, or should we look at how this all might just be a giant holographic projection? The deeper we go into the aniscopic theory and the structural code of reality, the wilder it gets. Thanks for joining me, and keep questioning the nature of the reality around you.